Wait a minute, please.
Okay, don't worry. You told me that the last class you were having trouble when joining the lesson, right?
Excuse me?
You told me that the last class, the previous class, you were having troubles, right? While when joining into the lesson.
In the
Did you
last
check?
class?
Yes,
No, I didn't.
yes. Did
I
you check
didn't.
the recorded lesson?
No, yet.
Okay, so
Because
please make sure to do it, okay? Because there is the recorded lesson on the YouTube channel,
okay.
so you can make it up.
Oh, okay, please.
Yes. I don't like to work through this app, through Zoom, because every 40 minutes we have to join again. And there is another problem because we don't have the opportunity or the possibility to join immediately through Zoom. That is why I chose to work with Microsoft Teams.
I don't know why it is so difficult to get into this um, platform.
Yes, I don't know what is happening because you just have to get an active Gmail or email account and that it could be it. But I don't know what is happening with this Microsoft Teams. But okay, anyways, we're gonna start. Yeah, so we're gonna start by practicing some listening. This is the part two of the listening section. This is called the sentence completion. Okay, in this part you have to listen to the audio and complete with a short phrase or a word in the blanks. Okay, so remember that in every listening part you are going to listen twice. So I'm gonna play the audio so you can go ahead. Okay,
Okay, teacher.
yeah, let me see, let me check the audio. Yeah, okay, that is.
You will hear an Australian student called Paul giving a talk about RoboCup, an international robotics competition. For questions 1 to 10, complete the sentences with a word or short phrase.
Hi, my name's Paul and I'm going to talk to you about the World Robotics Championship, RoboCup, which I've been looking into on the internet for a project I'm doing. The competition is usually organised in a different country every year, though it's been held no fewer than 4 times in Japan, which is where the first event took place in 1997. The first time it was hosted here in Australia was in 2000 in Melbourne. Now, RoboCup is short for Robot Soccer World Cup, and actually, the ultimate aim of the event is to encourage the development of robots which can beat the Football World Cup champions by 2050. Well, good luck with that, guys. But there are other challenges too, including RoboCup at home and RoboCup at work in the adult competition, and the on-stage and rescue categories in RoboCup Junior, which is for kids up to the age of 19. Let me just explain a little bit about the on-stage event. That's where teams get the chance to show what their robots can do through a stage show, and that can be anything from storytelling to a dance or a theatre performance, or apparently even a magic show, though I didn't find any videos of that one on the internet. The robots generally wear costumes and their designers can be part of the show too. Many of the performers I saw were dressed up as characters from films, but the star of the video I enjoyed most was a robot in a penguin costume. It was great fun and the audience loved it. But there's also a serious side to the whole thing. For example, all the teams have a technical interview with the judges, and each member has to answer questions about the part they played in the design and programming of their robots. And the competition rules are really strict. Points are taken off if a robot moves outside the area that's marked out on the stage, or if a team goes over the time limit. They have a total of 5 minutes for their performance, which includes setting it up and introducing it, and then an extra minute to clear up. So no more than 6 minutes altogether on the stage. It's all very quick, so there's no chance for the audience to get bored. I saw some videos of some of the other events as well, like RoboCup Soccer, which is pretty impressive. What amazed me most about it is the fact that there are no radio signals or remote controls or any other kind of communication from the designers. All the robots are autonomous. They all communicate with each other and make their own decisions about what to do. Almost like human players, except the ones I saw kept falling over for no apparent reason, which was quite funny to watch. I have to say though, there was some pretty good passing of the ball, but none of the teams had what you could call a solid defence. Sometimes a robot would kick the ball from one end of the pitch to the other, and the other team just stood by and watched as it went into the goal. But hey, it's good entertainment and a great way for the public to learn about the latest developments in robot technology. For me though, RoboCup at home seemed the most educational event. For this one, designers have to interact with their robots, and the only way they can do that is by voice. A kind of apartment is set up in the venue, and the robots have to follow their designer's spoken instructions to perform a number of different tasks. I saw them do things like open the curtains in the bedroom, or go into the kitchen and get something like a bottle or a cup and take it back to the designer who was in the lounge. This kind of thing might become a reality in the home in the future, so it's really interesting to see robots doing things in this context.
You will hear an Australian student called Paul giving a talk about RoboCup, an international robotics competition. For questions 1 to 10, complete the sentences with a word or short phrase.
Hi, my name's Paul and I'm going to talk to you about the World Robotics Championship, RoboCup, which I've been looking into on the internet for a project I'm doing. The competition is usually organised in a different country every year, though it's been held no fewer than 4 times in Japan, which is where the first event took place in 1997. The first time it was hosted here in Australia was in 2000 in Melbourne. Now, RoboCup is short for Robot Soccer World Cup, and actually, the ultimate aim of the event is to encourage the development of robots which can beat the Football World Cup champions by 2050. Well, good luck with that, guys. But there are other challenges too, including RoboCup at home and RoboCup at work in the adult competition, and the on-stage and rescue categories in RoboCup Junior, which is for kids up to the age of 19. Let me just explain a little bit about the on-stage event. That's where teams get the chance to show what their robots can do through a stage show, and that can be anything from storytelling to a dance or a theatre performance, or apparently even a magic show, though I didn't find any videos of that one on the internet. The robots generally wear costumes and their designers can be part of the show too. Many of the performers I saw were dressed up as characters from films, but the star of the video I enjoyed most was a robot in a penguin costume. It was great fun and the audience loved it. But there's also a serious side to the whole thing. For example, all the teams have a technical interview with the judges, and each member has to answer questions about the part they played in the design and programming of their robots. And the competition rules are really strict. Points are taken off if a robot moves outside the area that's marked out on the stage, or if a team goes over the time limit. They have a total of 5 minutes for their performance, which includes setting it up and introducing it, and then an extra minute to clear up. So no more than 6 minutes altogether on the stage. It's all very quick, so there's no chance for the audience to get bored. I saw some videos of some of the other events as well, like RoboCup Soccer, which is pretty impressive. What amazed me most about it is the fact that there are no radio signals or remote controls or any other kind of communication from the designers. All the robots are autonomous. They all communicate with each other and make their own decisions about what to do. Almost like human players, except the ones I saw kept falling over for no apparent reason, which was quite funny to watch. I have to say, though, there was some pretty good passing of the ball, but none of the teams had what you could call a solid defence. Sometimes a robot would kick the ball from one end of the pitch to the other, and the other team just stood by and watched as it went into the goal. But hey, it's good entertainment and a great way for the public to learn about the latest developments in robot technology. For me, though, RoboCup at home seemed the most educational event. For this one, designers have to interact with their robots, and the only way they can do that is by voice. A kind of apartment is set up in the venue, and the robots have to follow their designer's spoken instructions to perform a number of different tasks. I saw them do things like open the curtains in the bedroom, or go into the kitchen and get something like a bottle or a cup and take it back to the designer who was in the lounge. This kind of thing might become a reality in the home in the future, so it's really interesting to see robots doing things in this context.
Okay, I'm going to show you the right answers so that you can take a look at them. And let's see how many right answers did you get.
Okay, let me see.
Are you drawing at the screen?
Excuse me?
Are you drawing at the screen? Yes,
No, just only I have to.
yes, I'm gonna erase because you have made these ones. Okay, so don't worry. Yeah, there you go. Okay,
Okay.
so number 1 is Japan.
Yes, of course.
Yes, number 2 is rescue.
A rescue. Okay.
Number 3 is magic show.
Magic show. That's
Number
okay.
4 is penguin.
Penguin. Yes.
Number 5 is programming, right?
Okay.
Let me see. Yeah. Number 6 is, it could be 6 in numbers or 6 in the number.
No, I don't have this answer.
Yeah,
6
6.
minutes.
Only 6 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Number 7, autonomous.
Autonomous.
Number 8, solid defense. It could be defense or solid defense. Both are valid.
Okay.
Number 9 is voice or voices. Any of them. And number 10 is kitchen.
Kitchen. Okay.
So we have 10 questions. And how many right answers did you get out of 10?
5.
5. Okay. It's
Yes.
okay. It's a good score for being the first time that we are practicing this kind of exercise. Okay. So we're going to practice a little bit of speaking regarding this part. So tell me, would you be interested in attending or in taking part in a RoboCup fair? Why or why not?
Okay, it's interesting to review this thing because it appears in 1997, but just for this time, we can see in the other TV in another parts that the robots can perform as many stages.
Yes. Do you like this kind of technology stuff?
Yes,
mean,
it could be a good invention because they can have perform in many areas. For example, in medicine, in sports, in in the kitchen, for example, says here,
yeah, it can be very,
or
very useful.
yes, in many spaces too.
Yeah, all right. There you are. So let's keep practicing vocabulary. This is called the word formation, okay? In the listening part that we did right now, there were mentioned some words that we have here in brackets. For example, we have compete. What was the word that was mentioned in the audio? It is something related to compete. Do you remember?
In the audio says
Number one says there is a blank there, is usually organized in a different way in different country every year.
in the number one,
Yes. Okay. It was the competition. Okay.
the
With
competition.
compete,
Okay.
we have the next word, the same version of the word, competition. Number two is and that can be anything from storytelling to a dance or theater, and we have perform. Very easy.
Okay.
Performance.
Performance. Yes.
Yes, performance. Number three, it's good, and we have entertained. A great way for the public to learn about the latest, and I guess that is development in entertaining or entertainment. Yes, there you are. Competition, performance, entertainment, developments, and number four is spoken instructions. In this part of the exam, the word formation, it is very useful to know about the suffixes and prefixes. That is why we have here these ones in this part.
Teacher, excuse me, in the last exercise, what was the for answer?
Yes, instructions. Spoken instructions.
Instruction?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so in the exercise number two, we have some suffixes in the box that I highlighted in green, and we have to create nouns from the words from 1 to 6. Okay, the same suffix may be required for all the words in each group, in every single group. So help me out, please. As you can see there, we have number 0 as an example object with the suffix objection, react, reaction, predict, prediction, and convert, conversion. Number 1, we have enjoy, treat, govern, and argue. What do you think is the correct?
Enjoyment?
Yes,
Enjoyment?
yes, enjoyment, treatment, government, and argument.
Mhm. Yes.
Number 2, we have original, popular, major, and able.
Originality.
Yes, originality, popularity, majority, and ability. Yes. Number 3, appear, assist, annoyed, and tolerate.
Appearance.
Yes, appearance, assistance, annoyance, and tolerance. That is. Number 4, we have sad, weak, careless, and lonely.
Sadness. Sadness.
Yes, sadness,
Weakness. Yes.
weakness, carelessness, and loneliness. Perfect. Number 5, we have inform, resign, present, and explain.
Information.
Information, resignation, presentation, and explanation. Perfect. That is. There you are. Number 6, different. Differ, exist,
Different.
depend, and obey. Difference, right? Difference,
Yes.
existence, dependence, and
Existence.
obedience.
Dependence. Obedience. Yes.
Yes, there you are. So you can check the spelling just in case. Enjoyment, treatment, government, argument, and so on. Okay, so let's move on to the next part. So this is the word formation part. Exercise number 3. We have to convert or to turn this word into another one that is similar to the original one. That is why we have in number one, Karna could not hide her amusement at the sight of her father's first ever laptop. He had acquired and we have collect. What do you think is here?
He had quite
Of what he called technological antiques. I think it's collection, right?
collection, a
Yes,
collection.
yes. He had quite a collection of what we called, or he called technological antiques, and this was his favorite. It had plenty of, yes,
Similarity,
yes, similarity, perfect, to her own model, but it was the weight and we have thick. What do you think is here? I guess that is thickness, right?
thickness.
Thickness,
Yes,
perfect. Of it, and it that caused her to smile. Number two, one of the many, and we have active during our Science Week this year is a trip on the Technology Museum. What do you think is here? It could be many options that we get here. I think it's activists, right?
active, active.
Activists. One of the many activists during our Science Week
Mhm.
this year.
Mhm.
A single, and we have payment. A single
Payment, yes,
payment, yes, payment of 15
15
euros or pounds, I guess that is,
euros.
for should be made by Friday, the October the 7th. Please also sign the attached form giving, and we have permission, right?
Permission,
Yes,
permission
permission
for
for your child to attend.
that.
Mhm. There you are. Number three, Aunt Gwen's, and we have generous on birthdays was unquestionable, but it had to be said that most of her present budget, and we have there decide. I think in the first one is generosity, right? Generosity.
Grocery.
Yes,
Mhm.
in the next one is present buying decision, maybe it could be. Yes, right, decision or decisions
This
were
one,
not the best. A pink jumper in a romantic novel, for example. Prepare for, and we have disappoint.
disappoint.
I think it's prepare for disappointment, right?
Yes, disappointment.
Disappointment. And let's check. There you are. Number one is collection.
Yes,
Similarities.
similarities.
Yes, because it had plenty of. Plenty of means a
Plenty.
lot of similarities. Yes.
Okay.
But it was the weight and thickness. Perfect.
Yes.
Number two is one of the many activities.
Activities.
Yes, activities. Number two is payment. The next one is permission, generosity, decisions, and disappointment. And that's it. Okay, so let's move on to the next part. We have to learn some vocabulary about technology. I need you to take a look at those statements. Okay, look at them. And which, if any, of these alternatives do you do? Which do you prefer doing? And please, you have to give me your reasons for your answer. For example, would you call people using a landline? a smartphone, a tablet, a laptop, or a desktop computer? Would you do that?
Smartphone,
Yes.
smartphone,
So you prefer to use a smartphone because I think
a
it's
smartphone,
the
a
most
laptop.
affordable.
Yes, it is usable more than the computer because if you have a smartphone, it is practical when you don't you have a special packet. Just only you have to use or put in your packet.
Yes, perfect. And in terms of security as well, because you
Yes,
prevent
it was
yourselves
talking
from
about security.
yes, from being robbed. Perfect. What about communicate with people via email, text, or social media? What do you prefer the most? To write an email, to text, or to write through social media?
Yes, I communicate with the people using the social media, for example, the WhatsApp. It's very common.
Yes, because it is the quickest way to communicate with
Yes,
everybody.
yes.
Yeah. What about using predictive text, abbreviations, or whole words when messaging people? What do you used to do?
Mm, I use maybe abbreviations because it's very more easier to write because if I have to write something, if I am not so much time that I have, I write easily using abbreviations.
Yes, that is a good way to do it. The next one. What about accessing the internet via smartphone, via laptop, tablet, desktop, PC, or other device? What do you prefer?
Okay, I prefer to access the internet uh, since I smartphone too.
Yeah,
A laptop it's very easy too. And if, for example, if I have to read a document or a book, it is more
comfortable.
uh, yes, yes, comfortable for the words, for the letters that I can read.
Yes, because in a smartphone it's a little bit difficult to read very
Yes, of
little
course.
letters. Perfect. You have to tell me if you comment on posts, on threads, on blogs, or photos on social media, of course.
Sometimes I comment on the photos, especially because, for example, I have to describe what is the situation or what can people are doing in the specific photo, for example.
Yeah, perfect. I need you to tell me your thoughts on sharing memes, GIFs, or links on social media.
Okay, yes, of course. I usually share gifts or links that we have, especially with funny memes. For
Yes,
example, dedicated for one specific person or something to to make a to make a funny joke, for example.
yeah, that is perfect. What about using a headset or chat to communicate with other players when gaming? But I guess that you don't play video games, right?
No, in my case, I didn't play video games. Yes,
Yeah,
that's of course.
yes, of course, because that is for younger people. Take photos.
In this part, I don't have much time to do this,
Yes,
really.
in our case, it's like a waste of time, right? We have other important things to do as
Mhm.
well. Yeah, take photographs with a camera, with a phone, with a tablet, or other device.
Okay, yes, of course. Uh, always we have to take photos with my camera, a phone, especially on the cell phone. Yes, of course,
Yes.
because it's easier to do it, and some photos are really in the time that I don't have a other device in the hand to take a photo.
Yes, that is. Okay. So let's move on to the next part. But one thing here. As you can see on the screen, maybe I don't know if you can see, if you are able to see, there are only 8 minutes left before Zoom finish this lesson, okay? So just in case, would you like to join through Teams? Do you think it could be possible?
From Teams.
Yes, because when this lesson finishes after the 7 minutes, this app Zoom, I have to wait 10 minutes to join again through Zoom.
Okay.
Yes, so I'm gonna send you another link so we can join immediately. So we continue with this. This is the reading part. This is the part 5. This is called the multiple choice. What you have to do here is to read all of this reading, okay, and choose what is the right answer from 1 to 6. But I guess that it is a little bit longer. Yeah. What do you think if you do this as a homework?
Okay.
So you
Okay.
can,
Don't
yeah,
worry.
so you can read it very carefully, take your time, and you tell me the next lesson if you have any trouble with this. Yeah, so remember
Okay.
the pages 36 and 37. The reading, okay?
As a homework.
Yes, as a homework.
Okay, teacher.
Yes, that is. And on the next lesson, I'm gonna show you the right answer. Please remind me, please, to show you the right answers of this reading, okay? From 1 to 6 on Monday.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much. So we continue with this, and we're going to, sorry, to work with comparisons. Sorry,
In which day?
comparisons.
And page number 38.
Yes, 36 and 37, the homework. And right now we're going to work on
Okay.
page number 38. Mhm.
Okay.
Yes. But from the digital detox, that is the reading, we have some words that are in brackets here from the previous reading. As you can see here, we have dark, we have anxious, we have good, expensive, interesting, trendy, useful, and so on. Okay? What you have to do is to write the correct form of that word. Okay? You may need to write more than one word. For example, we have, but as we all know, there is another, alright? And I need you to help me out finding this word into the reading.
Dark.
Yes, dark. I guess that is in the paragraph number 1. Yeah, I'm reading right now. Where is the word dark? Yeah, but anyways, because we don't have so much time to waste, I'm gonna show you. Yes, the answers, and then I'm gonna give you an explanation that is very useful, okay? Comparisons, so comparatives and superlatives, darker, easier, faster, or the best, fastest than. You know this, right? But we're going to make a reminder. Look at this. We have darker. I was spending more than 4 hours, more anxious as some people, not as much as. And we have better, trendier, more interesting, more expensive, most useful, less, more easily, more freely, more quickly. But before jumping right in, I'm gonna show you this explanation that is related to comparisons, okay? So as I go through the explanation, let me know if you have something that you want to know, something that is not that clear. Okay, the form. As you know, right, we have to add er and s to form the comparative and superlative of the regular one-syllable adjectives. For example, we have here cheap, cheaper. The superlative is the cheapest. Later, the superlative is the latest. We have thin, thinner, and the superlative is the thinnest. That is. We use more and the most before the adjectives with more than one syllable. We change the letter Y to the letter I and add the letter E and the letter R and the suffix est. For example, we have sincere, we have to say in the comparative more sincere than, or the most sincere. Or in the case of happy, we have happier or the happiest. Yes? For example, two forms are possible with some two-syllable adjectives. For example, you can say, this is the case of clever. We can say cleverer or more clever. That is an exception, okay? Or we can say the cleverest or the most clever. And this works with the following adjectives: clever, common, friendly, gentle, likely, narrow, pleasant, polite, quiet, simple, and stupid. I'm gonna highlight it here so that you can take notes. No, I cannot highlight it here. But are those clever, common, friendly, gentle, likely, narrow, pleasant, polite, quiet, simple, stupid, and tired? Those we can say. For example, friendlier or more friendly, friendliest or the most friendly. Any of them are right. Okay, we continue. We use more in the most before most adverbs. For example, these ones. Quietly, we can say more quietly or the most quietly. Or fast, faster or the fastest. This works as well with fast, hard, late, long, and soon. It could be any of them. These ones. I'm gonna highlight it here so that you can check. That is. And in addition to that, we have some adjectives and adverbs that have irregular forms. For example, we can say good, well, bad, badly, or far. We can say related to good or well, better or the best. With bad or badly, we have worse or the worst. And with far is farther or farther, or the farthest or farthest, which is the same. Okay, so don't forget, these are the irregular ones. Then we have some examples in how to use this. Yes, so we were talking about this. We used to talk about people or things that are different in some way. We use the comparative forms or adjectives and adverbs plus the word than. For example, I think that listening is more difficult than reading. We're comparing two things. For small differences, we use a bit, a little, slightly before the comparatives. We say your lunch is slightly bigger than ours. For big difference, we use much, quite, a lot, or far, or significantly. For example, my new car's much faster than my old one. We're comparing two things here. Or to emphasize the difference between one person or one thing from all the others. And for this, we use by far or easily before the superlatives in this case. For example, this is by far, right, the best book that I ever read. Or we can use in before a noun when specifying the group. For example, Steven is the naughtiest boy in the class. Or for example, you are the most intelligent person in the class. We use it like this. Then we have less and least, which are the opposites of more and most. For example, rugby is less popular than football here, or this is the least friendly bar in town. We can use like this. So far, is everything clear so far, my dear Sarah? I think that yes, right?
Far?
Oh, you were not listening to me, right?
No, I don't listen to you.
Oh yeah, so sorry, because I had a problem with my microphone. Okay, so I'm gonna repeat it again. So, but I think it was clear, right? This part. How to use more difficult than, slightly bigger than, much faster than, right?
Yes, this is not difficult.
Yes, by far the best and the loudest boy in the class. Okay, then we have this one. And here you have to be very careful when you use less and least, because these are the opposites of more and most. We can say less like this. Rugby, for example, is less popular than football here, and we have to use least in this way. This is easily the least friendly bar in town. This is the way that we have to use. Okay, so don't misconfuse this. And we have like, more, and the most, which can be used without a noun. For example, you can say, you should eat less and exercise more, as you can see here. We use less as well in the list with uncountable nouns, and fewer and fewest with plural countable nouns. So keep this in mind. For example, we say, I am eating less chocolate and fewer sweets, as you can see there. And finally, we use just as plus. This is so important. We use just plus as plus the adjective in the verb in as to show similarities. For example, she is just as intelligent as her sister, or she is as strong as me, or she is as smart as her, for example. Yeah, we use like this part. Then we have so. So can replace the first as after not when we have to describe differences. For example, it is not so difficult as I thought it would be, right? We use it like this. It replaces the very as well, so to emphasize the strength of the sentence. Then we have not so becomes not such and if a noun is used. For example, maybe this is such a good idea as I thought. Or maybe this is or it isn't such great food as I thought. For example, it can be. Then we use it to describe small differences. We use not quite, nearly, or almost. For example, he is not quite so impatient as his brother. As you can see, we are comparing, in this case, behaviors. We continue. To describe big differences, we use not nearly. Okay, for example, that you are by far, that you are not near. Her new film isn't nearly as bad as her last one. You see? The next one. We use as much with uncountable nouns and as many with countable nouns, of course, and on their own. For example, I haven't got as many chips as Sally, or I don't weigh nearly as much as I used to. This one. So remember, many as many with countable and as much with uncountable. The next one we use be, the word just, not, just in case, nearly, almost, and not quite to talk about the same noun plus as to show similarities and differences. For example, my mom is almost the same age as my dad, or my brother is almost the same age as my friend, for example. These possible nouns can include age, color, height, length, size, weight, or weight. Any of them. Talking about characteristics, physical characteristics. And finally, we have the use of the article de plus the comparative, or the article de plus the comparative for changes which occur together. For example, the second is often the result of the first. And there you are. The more money I have, the faster I spend it. This is very common, this structure. Did you know it? I guess that yes,
Okay.
right? For example, we say the more we do that, the more that you will get something. That is the structure. The more, the better, for example. And the last one, we use the following structure to describe similarities and differences. For example, we use little or little, not little, a lot of, a great deal of, not much difference between. Okay, this is a great deal of. It is a synonym of a lot of, right? There isn't much difference between my job and yours. To emphasize the difference, okay? Either there is much difference or there is not much difference. And finally, we have to use the verb plus the word more of plus the article a or an, depending on the noun, in some collocations to make, for example, make more of an effort, make more of a difference, to make more or to be more, right? Pose more of a problem, of a challenge, of a threat, or a danger. For example, in a fire, right? Smoke can pose more of a danger. In Spanish, we say pose more of a danger es suponer más de, ¿sí? Can
Mm.
pose more of a danger than the actual films. Okay, just let me close this call. Okay, I'm sorry. In a fire, smoke can pose more of a danger than the actual flames. And that's it, regarding the comparatives and superlatives. So, my dear Sarah, is everything clear about this? Yes, no? Or do you have something that it was not clear?
Yes, in this part, something, the first part is easy, but the second, I have to check again.
Yes, okay, of course, and that is why we have to practice, okay? Let's go
Oh,
with the page number 38, and we have to practice this following. Why are the following forms of the bracket words in exercise 1 incorrect? Can we say more dark? No, right? What is the correct way?
mm,
It's darker, right? Darker. Yes. We cannot say anxiouser. What is the right way?
more anxious,
Yes, more anxious. We cannot say expensiver. We have to say more
more expensive,
expensive. We cannot say usefulest. We have to say what?
more useful,
In this case, is the superlative. The most useful.
the most useful.
Yes.
Okay.
And we have freer. We cannot say that. We can say more freer.
Real.
or more thriller, right? Then we have, what are the comparative and superlative forms of the following adjectives and adverbs? We have strange, it can be a stranger or the strangest. With fast, it can be faster or the fastest, right? What about hot?
Yes. Hot, hottest,
Any hotter? Yes, hotter. Yes, happy, we can say happier or the happiest, right? Yes. And then we have slowly, sorry.
slowly, more slowly, the most slowly.
Yes, perfect. We have difficult, more difficult, or the most difficult, right? We have common, that was the exception that we can say both.
More common is
Yes,
the most common.
perfect. And we have bad, which is an irregular one. Is worse in the worst,
Word,
right? Yes, in far. That
the
is
farthest, the
farther
farthest.
in the farthest. Perfect. Yes, there you are. Okay. So we have to practice this part. Yeah. I want you to write down or just come up with some example about the following things. The best type of pet according to you. And you have to use the comparative or the superlative depending on the case. According to you or for you, what is the best type of pet?
The best type of pet. Mm. I think about the best type of pet is a small pet. For example, a dog, a cat, or
Yes,
a little mouse is possible.
perfect.
Or a
What is the
little
best
bird.
smartphone according to you?
According to me, an iPad.
Yeah, I would like that you to compare these two things like this. For example, you can say iPhone is better than Samsung, for example. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Try to use the comparatives or the superlatives. Okay. Your favorite singer or band?
Okay, I consider Shakira is the best singer. Then the Rockstar band. It's possible.
Okay, yeah, yeah. But you say be careful because you said Shakira is the best. So it could be Shakira is better than the other rock bands, for example.
Oh,
Yeah.
mhm.
What about a film that you really enjoyed or that you really liked?
Yeah. For
Tell me, please.
example, the it could be a film.
Hmm. For example, in my case, I could say, for example, that actual action films are better or are more interesting than, let me see, the drama films, for example. Yeah.
Okay. In my case, adventure movies are more interesting uh, than horror movies.
Yeah, it's perfect like that. Okay. A sportsman or a woman that you really admire.
Mm, a sportman or woman.
Yes.
Mm,
For example, in my case, I think that Lionel Messi is better than Cristiano Ronaldo, for example.
okay. In my case, I don't know what are the names of the sportmen.
Okay, so you don't know.
See,
Yeah, okay, okay, so don't worry. Let's go with the last one. A favorite holiday destination.
Okay, for example, Baños is the best city I ever visited.
Yes, that you ever visited. Perfect. So don't forget about this. Yeah. So with this, we finish this part. But before jumping the next part, that is the homework that I'm gonna send you, I would like to talk with you with the next questions because you weren't in the previous lesson. Okay, that is so important because this is the speaking part one from the Pizza Forest exam. This is the interview. Okay, so do you remember that I tell you that in the first part of the speaking section, the examiner is going to ask you random questions about several topics. Okay, so we're going to discuss about the next questions. How often do you change your phone?
Okay, I change my phone every year. It's possible.
Yes, every year. Okay. What apps or what are the apps that you like to use the most?
Okay, I use, for example, WhatsApp. WhatsApp is the most useful apps that I use.
Perfect. How do you think your life will change in the next 12 months or in the next year? In what way do you think that your life will change in the next year?
Okay, I think that my life will change um, in the more expensive things, for example.
Oh yeah, because the way of life is going to get expensive,
Yes,
right?
of course,
Yeah.
not cheaper.
Yes, I guess. Number four, talk about someone, right? I need you to tell me about someone that you know who has changed in some way in the recent years. It can be a friend or a family member of you.
Okay, I see a friend who is the tallest girl in I ever seen.
It's a
For
girl.
example, the
It's a
tallest.
teenager.
Yes, it's a teenager.
All right. So I guess that is your student, right?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. Okay, number five. What changes do you think should be made to your school or your college or your workplace? What are the
Okay,
changes that do you think that could be made
okay.
to
In my school, students should be more uh, not comfortable. Then they have to be uh, the they have to be cleaner than the others students, for example.
okay, just so in terms of sanity and things like that. Okay, so perfect. Thank you so much. So as a homework, apart from the reading that you have to do, okay, you are going to carry out pages from the workbook number 20 and 21. Okay,
20 and 20.
yes, from the workbook and the reading
Okay.
from the student's book, and that's it. And
Could you
so,
please
sorry,
uh, repeat the pages, please?
oh yeah, 20 and 21. 20 and 21.
Okay.
So
And the
that,
other book?
and the other one is the page number 36 and 37 on the student's book.
Okay.
So that would be it for today, my dear Sarah. Okay, so thank you so much. And don't forget to keep on practicing whenever you have free time. And I'll see you the next lesson on Monday. So have a nice weekend and see you later. Bye bye. Thank you so much.
Okay. See you.